You ever been stopped just for existing? Not for breaking a law, not for doing anything wrong, just for standing in the wrong place while wearing the wrong skin? Yeah, that happened to me one quiet morning when all I wanted was to check in on someone. I wasn't in uniform, no badge, just me, a hoodie, and a promise to keep. My name's Maya Daniels. You wouldn't know me unless you've spent time inside a police academy classroom or been trained by someone who has. I'm not out here chasing medals or handshakes. I work behind the scenes, rebuilding a system that once tried to break me. And I do it because if we want things to change, we can't just yell from the outside. We gotta know how to fix the gears inside. That morning, I was walking through Westboro Plaza, one of those neighborhoods that used to have soul, now all coffee bars and yoga moms. I was headed to visit the mother of a former cadet, a kid who couldn't handle the silence anymore. He quit the academy after breaking down in my office, told me the culture didn't sit right with his gut. I told him to listen to that voice, and I told him I'd check in on his mom. So here I was, just trying to keep my word. I spotted the cruiser before it spotted me. Parked like it owned the sidewalk. Lights off, engine humming. The rookie behind the wheel was fresh-faced, buzz-cut, scanning like he knew danger was always 2 steps away. His eyes locked onto me and lingered a little too long. Then came the call. "Ma'am, I need you to stop." I turned slowly, kept my voice level. "Can I help you, officer?" His hand hovered near his belt. "Let's see some ID." I didn't move. "Why?" "You're loitering near a construction zone. We've had trouble here." I looked around. Empty sidewalks, no workers, no signs. "You sure about that?" That rattled him a little. He got out of the cruiser, posture stiff. I could feel his nerves. It was that overcompensating energy of someone still trying to feel like they belong. I handed him my license, watched his eyes flicker when he read my name. "Maya Daniels," he said, suddenly unsure. "You live around here?" "Yeah." He mumbled something about being free to go and handed my ID back. I told him, calm as ever, "Next time, try leading with respect, not suspicion." And I walked off, didn't look back. I didn't have to. A few blocks later, my phone buzzed. It was Chief Brennan, reminding me that the new rookie class started training tomorrow morning. I already knew who'd be sitting front row. Next day, I walked into the academy wearing the same hoodie, except now my badge was clipped to my waistband. I stepped into the classroom, and the whole room went still. And there he was, rookie from the plaza, trying hard to pretend he hadn't seen me before. I said, "Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Maya Daniels. I'll be your lead instructor." He turned red from the neck up. I didn't call him out. I didn't have to. See, sometimes silence cuts deeper than a lecture. Over the next few weeks, I pushed those rookies harder than they expected. Not with yelling, not my style, but with questions that stripped away assumptions, exercises that exposed every blind spot. I didn't go easy on anyone, but I was precise. The ones who reminded me of younger versions of myself, I challenged them hardest. The loud ones, the ones who confused control with respect. And that rookie? His name was Brandon. I didn't drag him, but I never let him off the hook either. I let him do the dragging, and I watched it happen, slowly, painfully. It wasn't some Hollywood montage. It was subtle. The way he started noticing things, The tension when a black teenager walked past, the way some of the other rookies nodded during bias training but didn't write a damn thing down. Brandon started writing everything down, especially the parts that made him uncomfortable. Then came the real test, a live scenario, domestic disturbance, man shouting on a porch, woman clutching a kid. Brandon got paired with Ellie, sharp, quiet, no patience for showboating. As they approached the scene, Brandon started falling into old habits, hand drifting near his taser, chest puffing up. But then he paused. He stepped back. Ellie took lead. She de-escalated with a steady voice, calm presence, no yelling, no threat, just authority grounded in empathy. Nobody got hurt. During the debrief, I stood in front of the class and said, "That's what I call progress. No weapons drawn, no voices raised. That's how you protect everyone." I looked at Brandon. "You showed restraint. That's the job. You don't always need to speak. Just know when it's not your moment." Later that day, he stayed behind. Didn't say anything at first, just stood there, eyes on the floor. Then he said, "I'm sorry." I looked up. For what? For how I treated you at the plaza, for not knowing who you were, and not caring to find out. I told him, "You didn't need to know who I was. You needed to know who you were." He nodded slowly. "I thought I did." I said, "That's the trap. Most of us do." He asked if I'd ever made the same mistake. I told him, "Worse, but I didn't stay there." He nodded again. "I'm trying not to stay here either." I could see it, that slow shift in him, the crack, the shame, but also something sturdier, something real. I told him, "That's why I didn't embarrass you in front of the others. People don't grow from being humiliated. They grow when they realize they almost became the very thing they swore they never would." Fast forward a few months. Brandon graduated. Not top of the class, but something deeper. The kind of top that matters when things go sideways on a street corner. I was invited to speak at a department event, one of those with too many suits and stale donuts. Normally, I'd pass, but this one had rookies, civilians, high school kids, and Brandon was there, front row. I stood up and said, "The badge isn't the hard part. The soul behind it is. You can teach someone to shoot or file a report. But to see people? That takes more than a manual. That takes being broken open and rebuilding from scratch." Afterward, he came up to me outside. "You didn't tell me you were going to call me out like that." I smiled. "Didn't use your name. You didn't need to." Then he handed me a folded form, application for the peer mentorship unit. My name listed under referral. He said, "I'm not trying to be a hero. I just don't want to be the reason someone else breaks." I looked at him. "You're not anymore." And just like that, we walked away. Not as student and mentor, but something more like equals. Now let me ask you something. What would you have done if someone profiled you in public, then showed up in your training class the next day? Would you have embarrassed them? Or let the silence do the work? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me about the moments you saw the truth in someone, or in yourself. Let's talk about what growth really looks like.